The place we're about to show you in this video has never been on camera before. There's an Irish guy that's been collecting JDM cars and parts for over 30 years on a UK farm. Behind these hedges and trees is a collection that left me speechless, and if you've seen enough videos on the internet, I guarantee you this is going to blow your mind. Alright guys, this is an episode we've wanted to make for, I'd say it's probably 3 years, because we've never aligned. We always were in the UK, but Julian was busy at Garage D, or we were busy and we never got to do it. He has a new place. This is Julian, by the way. And if you don't know who Julian is, because I know we've got a lot of fans that are new to drifting, he is, and I know he's a humble guy, the OG of European drifting. I don't think it'd be where it is if it wasn't for Julian. And for 25 years, you've basically been buying, selling, trading, collecting, drifting, everything JDM for 25 years, roughly 25 years.
So actually you could probably go as far as 30 years. When I was first coming over to the UK, I was literally buying up every single A86 twin cam. If it was a twin cam, it was like a rear wheel drive style or a Mark II Esco or whatever, taking them back yonder to Ireland. I filled Cork with 40, 50 twin cams, again, the same in Escorts, countless starlets. So that was kind of the thing which actually brought me to the UK, because these cars weren't in Ireland. Again, when I'm saying 30 years ago, I'm 50 now. So like in my early 20s, it was a trek to come here, get a car, take it back to Ireland, then chase the rallies, sell it.
So this is the newest location for Garage D. So you guys moved about, what, a year or two ago?
No, it was actually about five years ago.
Wow,
now.
that's how long
it was 2019, but that's where timescales just go.
Yeah, so we were at the old place, which was in Watford, right? And
yeah.
This is a little bit more out in the kind of countryside.
Yeah.
A little bit more space. You're going to see why Julian needed a little bit more space.
Yeah.
And I've never seen it before, and I've just seen little pictures here and there, and I'm pretty sure this is the first time it's going to be fully featured on a video.
Yeah, it is.
So I think this is going to blow everybody's mind. So instead of us talking, there's so many stories here. This is going to be a long video, but you guys are going to stick around for it, because there's so much history here that awesome. I would imagine this one place here has more collected cars and JDM parts than I would say almost anywhere in the world. So actually, before we go inside, let's talk about some of the cars outside.
A lot of Skylines. Skylines be the first kind of main love, because very first Skyline I had was kind of more of a tribute to Ken Moore in 2002 and 3, which was 4-door 34, which was a like iconic car even at that time. And then of course the whole becoming a specialist, then it's always kind of Skylines has been our main thing, hence the line of GTRs there. Then my own cars would always mainly be the rear wheel drive drift related cars.
But this we're going to get a little spin in later. But this is a very special car as well, because this is a fully restored car it's the same car that it was. This is like early 2000s Hippo Steak, right?
Roughly, yeah.
This was a Hippo Steak demo car in Japan, 2002.
Yeah. And
you've restored it back to pretty much exactly as it was.
99.9% original. And bearing in mind that the car came over here through Alan McCord about 2007 or 8, and then became a load of different colours, a load of different cars. It was a Monster Energy demo car, it was a Gapville taxi car, Kenny Moen, and really a lot of the heritage got destroyed there, but I bought it back about 7-8 years ago, and then during COVID just thought, what can we do? We'll get this right.
So then we enter a world, and that's the only way I can describe it. It's entering a world of JDM cars. Now the one that everybody's going to know is, I would imagine, your prized possession, which is the Blitz R34. Yeah. And now some people out there might think, this is a cool replica of the famous Ken Nomura Blitz R34, but it's not a replica. No. This is the actual car.
Yeah. So at the time of this being one of the actual cars, there was probably 3 or 4 of the cars, but they were all comp cars which had roll cages in them and what you say the real deal. And then you had what they had, it was an actual street demo car, which was the car at Tokyo Auto Salon, while the other cars were out there actually competing on track. So this is that actual car which is in Tokyo Auto Salon in 2007.
So from 2007, I'm just going to like it's a little faded, the graphic, because this is exactly as it was.
Yes.
From 2007, that's the car.
Yes.
So all you've done is maintain it, done some skids, had some fun, done some shows, but it is as it was.
As it is from the outside, yes. The only panel change from all of that time is the front bumper. Every other panel, that's original Euros. Because it was only sort of more of a show car, it only had the standard 34 GTT running gear, just a Blitz turbo on it. Since then, because obviously it's got big wheels on, it's bit pants as a stock kind of car performance-wise there. I did an RB30 in it about 2012.
RB30 in it?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So 600 horsepower, which is kind of the maximum that the original kind of big Blitz turbo can do. It was as laggy as hell and undrivable in standard format with the 30 pushing into it. She is a good fun car. Obviously you've seen it in action.
Yeah, we got some shots of it in Rose Green doing some drifting, which was so cool.
And the little small Mark II there is quite nippy by the looks of it, and it's just...
Because it sounds like a 2007 car.
Yeah.
The chirp of the wastegate, all that's kind of gone now from drifting.
Yeah.
But that old school noise, I just love it. I think this car is so iconic, and I remember Gran Turismo drifting this car and all that. It's just such a cool car. It's amazing.
It's like got a single skin dry carbon top secret bonnet.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very light too.
It is
strong.
It's super light. So yeah, so it is a car, looks the part, and as a demo car is absolutely perfect because I've actually driven this car to Gapville, done 3 or 4 days on track in Norway, and driven back.
So you're
AC.
This is not a show pony. This thing has been driven, been done. It does what it's supposed to do. It doesn't just sit in a collection.
No.
You use it, you drift it. That's what the car is all about. And you've got a lot of 4-door 34s. So I just love this thing. So iconic and so cool. And what I love about it is that everywhere you try and look at the car, you just get distracted by everything else that's in here. Let's just have a look as we go up the stairs at how many gearboxes are down here, first of all.
And these are just sort of daily, weekly repair kind of stuff, which is just the Nissan Toyota stuff we do, which is generally drift related.
So you guys are sort of specializing in, we would say, JZ, SR20 stuff, like RBs, nothing too crazy like rotaries and all V6.
Nothing like that.
You know, before we go upstairs, I'm actually just going to roll in here because this is kind of bread and butter for you guys. So gearboxes, diffs, and a lot of that kind of stuff. But just before you turn the corner, like this is ridiculous. There is just everything in it. So this is a diff assembly area here.
Yeah.
So this is just every kind of diff. And what's amazing is, and what I just noticed is every single thing in here is labeled.
Everything.
So every single thing, no matter what it is, wherever you look, there's a little bit of a white pen on it to say what it is.
And if it's not labeled, there's no point having it because the problem is every second-hand part tells a story.
Yeah.
And the thing is that you have to know what's new, what's used, what's good, what's bad. If you don't, there's no point having it.
And like when I say diffs here, these aren't all stock. There's different ones from Nismo and GTR, all sorts of different stuff. Yeah. Gearboxes from all. I love this. very accurate.
Second late shaft.
So these are like how many gearboxes are in here? This is
just what we work on, which would be like service exchange gearboxes, stuff like that. So you've probably got a few hundred gearboxes here, but then we've got another few hundred gearboxes just stored away on pallets just to back up what we actually do.
If you turn around here, Josh, like you've got all the diffs, right? Diffs for everything.
I said there's every single ratio here.
Every ratio you could imagine for any Nissan, Toyota.
Yeah.
Like you go, like just look at, for example, you've got 350Z 3.5, you've got like 4.1 open ABS, you've got everything you could need it. Then you've all the shafts. Yeah. Like a lot of it is GTR and like again, they're all labeled whether they're good, tatty, like has play, perfect. Like that's amazing. And then you look down this way and it just keeps going.
I was gonna
forever.
There's more shafts, more gearboxes, more engines, everything.
Props, like, and it's all so organized so that when somebody calls you and says, "Hey, have you got a 3.9 diff for a 180?" You can go, have one there, good condition, or
what happens half of the time now is that they actually come to us and say, "Have you got a diff?" And then we say, "What are you using it for? What shafts you got? 3x2, 5-bolt, 6-bolt, whatever." So then we actually build up a diff specifically to the customer's needs. So we'd have the diffs, the ratios, the casing, the output flanges, the LSD, etc. So then, rather than buying a 30-year-old diff with no history, they're actually buying a fully refreshed diff specifically for what they need.
Unbelievable. And like, as you guys know, it's getting rarer and rarer to get this
Yeah.
stuff. It's hard, you can find it, but you generally are buying it sight unseen, no idea what it's. So at least you guys have the level of being able to guarantee that. And then I notice here you've got a load of blocks and heads around the place. Look at all the bolts.
Yeah. So that's all the SR department down there.
Oh, this is our favourite place, Josh.
Probably got 20 or 30 good cylinder heads just on that shelf there. Again,
Oh,
everything labelled.
And then all the rocker covers, bottom ends, just SRs everywhere.
When you look up and around you, there's more.
There's
Even
stuff
the
on the
roof.
roof.
Yeah. Utilising storage, because storage around London's a bit expensive. Engine room here, this is the keep out room when Julian's trying to do some actual work. Normally with the tunes on.
Geez, a bunch of GTR heads.
A mixture of our 26 and Neo heads.
And then again, just stuff everywhere. Like, it's overwhelming. I know to you this is every day, but when
Yeah.
you walk in here, like, you just get overwhelmed because you're like, your eyes can't focus on so many things at the one time. You're like, there's stuff in the roof, there's stuff here, there's rocker covers in the roof, there's stuff everywhere. And then this is all this build. Like, this is like 34 GTR, yeah?
GTR sump, yeah. And that's for a big casing super diff that we're building for a customer. Again, new gears which are discontinued, all new bearings and seals. Again, we have to keep everything in stock.
It's wild. And this is just downstairs of one unit. I'm just going to remind you guys, if you're early in the video, this is going to be a long walk because this is only the start of what we're going to show you on this. At the end we're going to get to the cars, but right now we can go upstairs and then there's a whole load more parts. I also want to mention that the reason we're here is because Josh and I are obviously putting some Silvias together, and we were like, oh, we're running through the UK, we want to see Julian's place, and we reckon he's got some little trinkets and parts that we need for various cars. So while we'll come to that at the end of the video, what we picked up, but I've just noticed all of the original Nissan body parts on the wall.
Yeah, so they're all 34 GTR quarter panels on the right. I think there's 3 or 4 of them. There's 2 33 GTR quarters there. Got loads of back panels, front panels.
But these are from Nissan, right? They're not
all brand new.
They're not
Nissan.
recreation. They're not like, you know, from Taiwan or something. There.
So at a time when we could buy the stuff directly from Nissan, so in the last 10 plus years, we were buying this as much as we could out of Nissan sort of globally and Europe and that. But now, the most of what you see there is all gone to the Nismo Heritage Scheme, so you can only buy in Japan, and they've like tripled or quadrupled the price.
You have them here if you want to put a 34 together and it's got a little bit of rust. You have
Yeah.
the whole quarter panel to weld in. And then this is what I want. This is the bit that to me is. So you've obviously over the years, Julian, has brought in cars and broken some, but also just collected parts as well. Just clutches.
Yeah.
And then it keeps going all the way down there.
So basically how the business kind of turned was the dream from obviously drifting the cars track, obviously fixing them because I was a mechanic, but then obviously when I was trying to fix the cars initially, I couldn't get the parts. So that kind of in various ways kind of leaned to setting up Garage D, but then setting up a garage to do the cars you want, you then need the staff to run it, you need the part selection both new and used, and then as time rolls on, you then end up selling the stuff. So like over half of our business now is just retailing parts.
Nowadays there's a lot of recreation for parts, so you'll have parts that are, you know, you can go on eBay, you can go to shops and they have great parts that you can put on stuff. But what I love about this is that this is either new manufacturer, old original, or it's the coolest JDM company that did it at the time. Some of this stuff I'm looking at the boxes probably goes back 20 years, like that,
Easily
20 years of, like, you look at this stuff, it's faded just from being alive for so long, but it's never been opened.
Exactly.
So it's just an absolute time warp of businesses that sometimes don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And
I have done a lot of old school sort of JDM specialist businesses, as in clearance and that.
You bought out them
yes.
when they closed down.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that I kind of feel that a lot of the reasons why they closed down was because they had an excess of stock that they didn't know what they had, or didn't actually log it or sell it, which means that when we've got it, we've then had to research it all and make sure that we know what we have to sell.
And so you have these are all brand new.
Yeah.
Like R34 headlights, S15 headlights. This is wild.
I'm sure the brand new Chaser headlamps here are discontinued.
So they're just sitting on a shelf.
Yeah.
That's probably the last place you get one in the world.
Exactly. But at the same time, what makes kind of our world go around, because obviously the time that they've sat here, they have matured in price, let's say, which I think mature is a good word. Yeah.
Like down here as well, look at all the hoses, all the pipe work. This is just amazing. Oil feeds, like even if you look way down there, Josh, look, there's like 50 strut braces just from every type of car all the way down the end. From every cool company from back in the day, from Tanabay, Blitz, all that. It's just sitting there. It's ridiculous. It's just, we're not even getting started, folks. This is early on, right?
I was going to say, later on this, it gets a bit more wild.
It gets even wilder than this. We're building you guys up a little bit here. We're not going in too hot. Steering racks over here, heater systems, like he's all the way down to number plate lights for like S15s, gauges,
any amount of
gauges. So this is what I would have in my S15. There you go, just another sitting there. You can go spec or spec S, you do what you want to do. I think Julian probably has more than all the upgarages in Japan at this stage. That's not an exaggeration, by the way, because I've been there. Turbos, got sumps, inlet manifolds, and they're all just in a stack, so you can go for like stock, aftermarket, and then obviously, as you said, you've put all the condition on everything.
Yeah.
So you know if it's great, good, okay, needs a bit of refreshing.
Exactly, because the issue is that if we were only selling new parts, it'd be very easy to have a stock control system website, because of the fact that a new part's a new part. It doesn't need a description because it's just a new part.
Very good point.
Something second-hand, it could have 5 different conditions, and then the conditions could actually vary on people's opinions as well. So
that's why I said if you want to get something from Garage D, you got to call, because they have to explain the parts of what they came off and what the mileage of that car was and things like that. Exactly. Whereas if it's a new car, it's all the same. It's all mass produced. None of this stuff is mass produced. But I just love the trinkets, the little bits and pieces everywhere.
Yeah.
Just in a biscuit tin here in the middle.
This is funny. Again, there's many stories. HKS JX100. Why would I have Butsy there? We all know Butsy. But that was actually when the Hippo Sleek was the Monster Energy demo car and Kenny Moen was driving it. They blew up the HKS Turbo in Portugal, so we had to fly out with the parts to fix it, and that's what it came back in that biscuit tin 10 plus years ago, and that's still there in the Toyota department, of course.
Julian, you need a podcast. Never mind a video.
Right, I'll go into Gollum's hole.
Oh wow, here we go.
That's just wiring looms.
All wiring looms.
Yeah.
Good God. And alternators and electrics. And
Well, this is always what we say. When you build a drift car, you rip the wiring loom out and then you chuck it away. And then when you need one, no one has one because they all chucked them away. Well,
they are here.
Well, that's why, again, here, 33 body loom, 32 body loom, S15 body loom, because so many of these drift cars got built back in the day, stuff chucked away, but then a lot of these cars can be reversed back to be road cars, street demo cars, whatever, and they want everything working. So here it is.
I'm glad someone has been keeping an eye on all this stuff, that it hasn't got all thrown away. So we're outside the main building, and we just wanted to show you guys. I just love looking around all the random stuff. You're a bit of a guy that buys on seeing something and going, oh yeah, I'll take that, and then it just kind of sits here, but it's all very cool, and you've got quirky things that you like. So you like GTRs.
Yeah.
So R33 GTRs. Is this a 34 GTS-T or GTR?
It's actually a 34 GT, so it's the base model, non-turbo, but it was actually a four-wheel drive. So it makes sort of the ideal 34 GTR replica. It has RB26 in it, etc. This is a customer's car which we've had for time, because the problem is that what people don't understand, and I'm sure you've been there, if you've got like a GTT and you want to have a GTR, if you want a GTT to be everything a GTR is, really just go out there and buy a GTR, because the amount of money you put into a GTT to make like a GTR, it'll still never be a GTR. So just buy a GTR,
Yeah.
because unfortunately this is kind of what it kind of becomes, where this has become a very, very expensive project.
And we got 4-door 32. One of my favorite cars of all time is a 4-door 32.
Same.
Love them. Random, massive patrol.
Yeah. So coming out of County Cork in Ireland.
This is?
No, but I
I was
am.
about to say. I was going to say
I
that.
am. Father always had Nissan patrols, so that is my kind of one of my little kind of background kind of illnesses. Let's say I do love Nissan.
And if you're not aware, the illness gets worse as we go through. This is not. There's going to be many patrols as we see throughout this video, but this one's very cool. This is like an old school safari, which I haven't seen one of these in Jesus long time.
When we go to the other compound, I have quite a few of them, because when we were caught here during COVID, it became a case of what do you do with your time? Because normally my life, like your life, is different tracks, different countries, every single weekend. Then all of a sudden COVID came and just said, what are we going to do? So myself and a load of our mates like Matt Carter and people like that, all sort of ex-drifters we'll call them, we all got Nissan patrols and kind of off-roaded and did that. So then that became another
Then you just took
distraction.
it too far, Julian.
I did. I ended up with 10 or 20 of them within less than a year.
You might say, "Oh, show us more." You'll see more. Don't worry about it. Front cuts from cars as well. So
J6-100.
yeah. So all the boys who are out there skiddy in those, you have an option if things go wrong.
Yeah.
There's plenty of front cuts here.
Again, will be probably cut off the parts unless somebody wants a cool gauge.
What is this?
So this was a film car. So this was like sort of a props car that they ended up just smashing up and rolling over for a crash scene, but it was actually a good car.
So in case you guys don't know, because he won't tell you because he's too humble, Julian has done a lot of the work for the Fast and the Furious films, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you've the actual film cars that you've worked on, and especially they did the one in London, right? You did quite a few for that.
Yeah.
So you've been working with them for a very long time.
Yeah, so the year before Garage D, which was another reason for setting up Garage D, I was in Tokyo and Fuji for Tokyo Drift, for doing the demo cars and kind of the film experiences and that, working with Kuma Kubo and people like that in Japan who had direct connections with the film. And that was my first time in Japan, and then since then I've kept in contact with the franchise, and I spent a year out working on Fast and Furious 6.
So for people that are watching this, what cars have you worked on from the Fast and Furious films, or what sequences that they would recognize? So there's been Tokyo Drift, is where it started.
Yeah.
What have you done since then?
Well, when I was on Fast Furious 6 for a year, I actually more or less closed down Garage D in 2012, and literally took the whole year out, because I actually worked in all of the different departments throughout the film. So I went in there to do picture vehicles, just to do a few of the drift sequences. So we ended up doing like the BMWs, escorts for the jump scene, which I did with the guys, of course. Vauxhall XC engines in, because obviously coming from the rallying in Ireland, like the Deans and that.
So this is the car Paul Walker jumps in the film, the Escort that goes from one side to the other and lands on another car.
Exactly.
And then the BMWs are the chase scene from London, right?
Yeah, which that was using one of my own personal cars, which was an E60 540 545 V8 manual.
So your own personal car was in the film?
Yeah, it was, yeah. Well, actually, quite a number of my own cars, because when they're talking about things in the offices, they would say, well, this car, that car, whatever. I said, oh, I have one.
So they would just say, oh, we'll take that one, we'll use that one.
Exactly.
And did you have something to do with the scene, obviously the iconic scene where the plane is going down the runway?
Yeah, so I had a Chevy Julie, which was my sort of daily 6.5 V8 turbo diesel, the typical redneck kind of yoke. And when special effects, who I wasn't working for at the time, I was in picture vehicles, were talking about all these complicated plane rigs and airport tugs and stuff like that for the Antonov taking off and then crashing, they would just say, well, it won't go fast enough for flame effects. I was just say, well, the Chevy's low enough, it's powerful enough, we'll use that. So Bovington Airfield, which is literally across the valley there, we actually did all the sequence there. So I've got, again, all the pictures tucked away on Facebook and that. So we did a full mock Antonov rig that we towed up and down the runway with the Julie, and then we did a fifth wheel coupling on the Chevy that we actually ramped the cars off for the final scene, where they actually crash out the nose of the Antonov.
So Julian worked on Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift doing the picture cars.
Yeah.
His own personal car was one of the villain cars in Fast and the Furious 6. Yeah. He basically did a lot of the stunt cars for the films, and you also used your own personal truck to tow the plane down the runway in Fast and Furious 6.
Yeah,
Just let that simmer for a moment. And this is a casual halfway through the tour here.
This rarely gets open because this is more of my personal stuff, which I packed away when we moved from Watford, and rarely do we actually get a look in. Because, this is full. Oh, Peter Vensick, Red Bull drift shifter.
He's trying to escape.
Check it out.
He is, yeah, madman.
So there's a car in there, Julian.
There's a 34 four-door, which was my comp car build many years ago, which was in the back of Watford, and yes, everybody who asks about it, it is still there. And apart from that, it's full of
interiors,
lots of GTR interiors. Actually, there's all 32 GTR seats there, and I know there's at least, without exaggerating, probably another 10 GTR interiors in there, like 32, 33, 34. You've got rows of dashboards there, rows of headlinings. You've got 34 door cards there. Again, that's full, and we haven't even got there yet. And we know there's people out there, I must apologise to say, it's in the big truck. Well, it's still in the big truck.
We're working on it.
Yeah,
we're working on stuff.
Yeah.
We're getting through it. So here we have subframes, a lot of subframes there. We've got panels here, and I'm having a little look at these. This is an original spec or Silvia side skirt, which are really hard to get copies of because they're two-piece, so you can see it kind of slots in here into this bit. And the second part of that is if you buy them in fiberglass, it's a piece of advice, never buy the spec or ones in fiberglass because they're attached with these little things, and to do this in fiberglass they snap, and secondly they kind of need to be glued on. It just doesn't work, so you need an original plastic, or you go aftermarket Vertex body kit, whatever.
Again, number of sets in stock garage D.
He loads them, like they're just this is a full crate the height of me, just full of bits of inner arch liners. Arch liners like from every car. And you got subframes,
a few subframes,
just a few hanging out over here. There's the roof of a car, just sitting.
32 GTR.
32 GTR roof there, just in case you're looking for one.
32 GTR, genuine Kazama, 100 bumper, which is actually on eBay. Get clicking.
It's a genuine Kazama 100 bumper.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I don't have 100. It's a good thing. More stuff in the fabrication room.
Yeah. Bit messy because I had my red and black E-Reg twin cam, which I only just sold there recently, but that meant that I got my two other, and I say twin cams, I'm being Irish about it because they're AE86s, but we always call them in Ireland twin cams. So the red and black E-Reg late 87's gone, which has paved the way for the later 87 one here to get done properly back to an original UK spec, and that was a late 86, maybe on the cusp of 87 as well. So get the two of them done in the near future. Flows will be getting a lot of my money. And
then again, I don't know if you can see Josh up here, just gearboxes for days, more stuff everywhere. I'm gonna have to, because we could be here forever, right? Because we could, but I really want to show. There's a location near here, so where you see a lot of parts here, there's a lot of cars as well that are kind of, I would say, in between life. They're not sure where they're going yet, but Julian has agreed to take Josh for a spin in the R34, and then we're going to see these. So there's probably how many in that field, would you say?
Probably at the height there was about 100. There's probably a bit less, but again, combining everything that's here as well, there is 100 cars.
Let's go look at 100 cars that are just from Japan, sitting in the UK, and that's the bit that we really want to see.
Right, so I'm going to leave Dave to go in the Jeep by himself, whilst taking the opportunity to go for a spin in a much funner car, I think. Oh, holy crap! Is that a sequential?
Yeah. I've just done 3,500 miles around Europe in this.
What's a few more kilometres then? So what's top level on this car?
It's 800 horsepower with the sequential, which does make it good fun. It would do well over 200 mile an hour if it's geared to do so, which currently it's not. Quite
a serious machine then. So I'm guessing the original gearboxes wouldn't take the power, obviously.
Well, it's funny because the original gearbox would only be good for 500 horsepower, so I built a brand new OS Geek and gear set into it for doing the road trip around Europe. And on dyno, when we were aiming for 600 to 700 horsepower, it absolutely shit itself on the dyno, so we had to rush up and put the sequential in, which we'd only reserved for track. And to be honest, it's been pretty pleasant, to be fair. Sell home sequential, the best.
I believe 800 horsepower, there's no lie in there. Flipping heck. I'd hate to think how much fuel you went through on that road trip.
A lot. There was a lot of euros of 98 fuel burnt. Yeah, but it was so worth it. Sorry.
Okay, so I had to get out of the car to hear this thing from the outside because from the inside it's, as you saw, absolutely nuts. That was the speed limit.
That was all on low boost. That was all on low boost.
Should we do one more on high boost?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Holy! What a crazy car!
It is fun. It is a lot of fun.
You definitely hit the speed limit, I'd say. Just about.
Probably in the first gear, yeah.
Is that for noise?
Yeah, because we were on the motorway in France, and we literally had ear defenders on. We were just saying, "Where's the noise coming from?" Oh yes, from there, isn't it?
I don't blame you too much. Right, I'm going to stop filming here to save the location of a new place, but this place is going to be wild.
Okay, so we're at another location, and this is obviously from the thumbnail, and the reason you probably clicked the video because we showed you a picture of this, and it's wild because this looks like somewhere in Ebisu.
Yeah.
But it's
Well, it looks very unassuming from here.
like it's just a big garden,
Yeah.
but there is just a wild amount of JDM stuff in here. So you've got a couple of patrols.
Yeah.
That was we talked about earlier. A little bit of a habit.
Yeah, distraction there, yeah.
There's a '67 Crown just buried in there in the back.
The likes of the older patrols like this are often the RB30 donors for the Skylines, like the Blitz and that.
We got a 14 that's trying to go back to the earth over here.
Hill climb car. Again, a good shell should somebody want it.
Yeah, it's just like they're all in good condition. They're just sitting here. Beamer. We got another. This is a.
That's the funky one because it's actually left-hand drive 14, again for sale.
Can I just say as well, inside, it's just all parts. It's stuffed to the roof of headlights and everything.
S15 lights.
So again, everything will be labelled. 33 GTS-T left, which is obviously same as GTR. S15 lamps,
Just
34 lamps.
full.
And a lot of the stuff is, again, when we moved from Watford, we had so much stuff disorganised, so we just say, right, okay, we'll put all the lamps in that car, but then we haven't got enough room, so we'll put all the rest of the lamps in the next car and the next car, and it's become a bit of an overflow storage.
Also remember that there's front shuts of cars.
You can just see them poking out the forest.
So you gotta wait till the winter to see
They're
them.
all Skyline apart from 15, yeah.
There's half an S15 there.
Yeah.
We got an Opel Ascona.
Opel Skona, yep. Bought it out of Norway during the summer, so we'll be putting a red top into it, and then probably go off to some rally sprints.
Fully caged, everything.
Yeah, with Mike Dean and Darren, which I had another Opelus going at this year.
More patrols. Is this a real GTR?
It's a real GTR.
Real GTR.
Not only that, it's a genuine UK 33 GTR, which will be going for restoration with SR auto bodies, hopefully in the near future. So, like I was saying, again, sort of overflow storage. This JZX90 Chaser has ended up being a lamp overflow facility, but at the same time, it's actually a really, really good shell on this car. So, I don't think you'd ever bother putting it back together as an original car, but if somebody had a crash car now, bearing in mind they're 30 years old,
yeah,
you have a shell here. That
you can start with a shell that's structurally intact.
Exactly. Oh.
And then this is the famous one.
This is the famous one.
So this, if you're not aware, is the car that I would have first saw Julian drift.
Yeah.
Back when I first got into drifting. Original, like the days of competition drifting in the UK and Ireland. This was the car.
So, in a time when I was driving the HKS S15s, and
just a casual throw in there as well that Julian did drive the HKS S15s from Japan, right?
Yeah, so I was doing the British touring car demos, and that's the time I was in Mondello as well with the HKS SR15.
So Julian drove at all the D1 legends back in like 2004,
5 going into 6.
All the original car. He was driving one of the HKS cars.
Yeah.
As you do. Now owns a Blitz car. Did the Fast and the Furious. And then this was your personal car.
Yeah. Because there was a little bit of politics going on with Kiichi Tsuchiya and HKS in sort of the 2005 era when Taniguchi stopped drifting in D1. I then wasn't allowed to use the HKS 15 in the D1 exhibition match at Silverstone. And I only got told that the week before. And this is all on option video. So at the time, this was my black street car. A bit rickety, street-o, whatever, full interior. It was the only car that I had that was turnkey to go, let's go to a D1 event. So literally bodged in a Sierra Cosworth roll cage and literally sent it around Silverstone and qualified ahead of a load of the D1 stars.
It's a good story. And another 34 four-door. I mean, how many have we, what are we at? Count number 72 now?
I've lost count.
Yeah, I've lost count as well. Again, loads of doors, loads of panels. You've got front cuts, rear cuts. JZX100 parts car, JZX100. Actually, another story. JZX100 parts car. That's Phil Morrison's first JZX100.
Phil from Driftworks.
Phil from Driftworks. Yeah. Again, doors everywhere.
And just remember, every one of these cars is full to the brim with stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like it's to the roof.
So we try to keep a bit of a theme going where, again, we've got another JZX90 parts car, but it's actually full of JZX90 parts. And I'm sure you did mention you wanted some JZX90
We do need
parts.
some JZX90 parts, and we have it.
We've got a few.
We're going rooting in that in a little while now. So once we finish this video, we're going back to have a little root through everything ourselves, a bit more time. We have a Soar.
Mark IV Supra.
That's a Mark IV Supra, folks.
Yeah. Along with a few more over there.
There's a Mark IV Supra just buried underneath bumpers.
Again, it's full of Mark IV Supra parts.
Another 33. This is a 14 here. Like, these are some rare fenders here.
They are your typical sort of 34 GTR style.
Yeah, for making the GTS-T look like the 34 GTR. So Mark IV Supra. Yeah. Might want to give the boys from Sonax cleaning products a shout. Yeah. But underneath it is a red Mark IV Supra. Turbo or non-turbo?
This one's a non-turbo, but this is the car that was used in Need for Speed with Risky Devils and all this.
Also, Julian did all the cars for the Need for Speed game, and this was one of them, so just going to throw that in there as well.
And did a fair bit of Audi 26 Stager. Again, this is one of my personal cars, got a 800 horsepower Supra there. Cage.
Sorry, just 800 horsepower Supra there?
Yeah.
I'm still looking over here. There's like a 34, a 34, a 34, a SEMA.
V8 SEMA.
Two-door 32. Then we got an Audi
S4, which is going to be the donor 5-cylinder 20 valve for the Audi Quattro, which is the next few cars down the other side of the Opel Manta.
Julian, we have a problem. Yeah. There's a lot going on here. So the plan, obviously, Julian's plan is that he's when he retires, he's going to get to all these projects. And I was just thinking, he'll be busier when he retires trying to build them all than he is right now, because there's so many different things. This is like a proper Supra.
Yeah. Obviously, it's going to look a little bit shite in there, I'd say. That is a bit of a sorry state, but the values inside it,
Yeah.
inside the engine.
So this is what, an 800 horsepower? How is
Yeah.
it an 800 horsepower? What's done to the engine?
A fully forged engine, and it is actually a factory V160, big casing diff, etc.
Yeah. And then there's just the back of a chaser here, just a bit of it. Just some IS300s.
Yeah, IS300s, which are our typical sort of ISA drift cars.
And Julian just bought a house in Norway
Yeah,
because you had no more space in England. You decided I'd go to another country and fill it full
Exactly.
of JDM cars.
because currently Ballyhooly and Cork's kind of full, and then here's full, Garage D is full, so let's spread our wings to Norway.
And have you got cars at your house?
I do actually draw a line there.
That's where you.
Yeah.
So you have cars here, you have cars at the main shop, you've got stuff in Cork, and you have stuff in Norway.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know where you would start with all this.
So speaking of Norway, obviously you should come ice drifting with us, because that's where the IS300s end up on the frozen lakes.
Well, we are big IS200 guys now, so IS300 we might be able to manage it. But we want to go ice drifting. If you want to see us go ice drifting during the winter months, I guess,
Yeah.
we can do it. Julian has the hookup in Norway and Sweden and stuff, so we'd love to do it. What I'm going to do now, though, so I know Julian's busy and he's eating up loads of his day now to show us all around his stuff. Maybe I've depressed him because he's had to go through all his stuff now. He was saying to me when we just had the first chat, because we know Julian a long time, and he was like, I've actually sold quite a few cars recently. And I'm like, doesn't look it, Julian. I'm going to be honest with you. It looks like you still have quite a lot. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump around, Josh and I, because we want to pick up a few little bits and pieces before we head back to Ireland, because I know Julian has loads of little trinkets around. We're going to let him get back to work. Then we're going to, it's a bit like supermarket sweep. We're going to go around and see if we can find a few bits. But if you guys are looking for any parts, I mean, I don't need to explain it anymore. If you're looking for any parts for a JDM car, this is a one-stop shop. You just come here, they know what they have, they know the mileage, they know the condition, they can rebuild it, restore it, go onto the Garage D website, give them a call, because it's the easiest way of doing it, because
Or
it's,
email.
or an email, because then it's easier for them to not, like, it's very hard for them to go, yeah, I have that, because come on, you know what I mean? But they can go look and see if they have, and if you've got one of these cars and you need anything, then yeah, they have it all. So Josh, get your parts gloves on. We're gonna go rooting.
I was going to say I'm wearing white.
White was not the colour for today. We're gonna go rooting for some parts. There should be some pretty rare ones around here. So we went rummaging around. You didn't want to see that in the video because it took a while. We went through everything. We found a lot of cool little bits. I have some interesting bits that I can't fit on, because I got a car and a Jeep, and I'm already got an S14 interior in there. So I'm pretty much down to I can only bring small stuff, but there's some big stuff that Julian has that I like, so I'm going to get Julian to pack it up and send it over to me. You'll see that in a future episode. We got some bride rails for Josh's 180, which you had brand new in stock.
Yep.
And then we needed some bits for our JZX90, because when we painted it,
There we go. Cool.
there we go. So when we painted it, I don't know where these went, but they were the two bits missing from the inside the doors. So now we have them. Thank you, Julian. We're going to put all that back in, head back to Ireland. And I think I've done well. I've only bought a little bit. I thought I would buy more, and I think if I came in the big van, we'd be in trouble, because I probably would have brought a lot of
I
stuff
think
back.
we'd all be in trouble because we'd be here for days.
Exactly. So we have to kind of cut it short. So I think that's everything, Julian. Cool. I think we have everything ready to pack it up in the car, and
You did mention about if there was anything funky about.
yeah, so we were basically trying to collect something from every garage we go to, nostalgic for the new Drift Games Clubhouse, which we're launching in a few weeks. We have no nostalgia left because it all burnt down. So some other people might. And you said you had something very special. So when Julian says it's special, I know it's special. No way.
It's a bit tatty. It's a bit dirty. It's genuine Euros. This is what came on my Blitz 34 when it was actually at Tokyo Auto Salon.
That is...
Yeah,
Are you sure?
100%. Because you know what the issue is that I have the other side somewhere, and I've never used them, never had use for them. I like to put them on display, but we haven't got the space, and at least you can put it on display and actually have us appreciate it, people can appreciate it, and that is what was in Tokyo Auto
That is
Salon.
so cool. Thank you so much. So we will have the original quarter panel from the Blitz R34 Skyline, which is probably one of my favorite cars of all time. And we're gonna have it on the wall of our new place. Thank you, Julian. Thank you guys for watching. I know it's a long one, but there was a lot of stuff. Julian has a lot of stuff, and we could have been here. We could have done an 8-parter here, and we still wouldn't have got through the drive shaft. So we got it through it as quick as we could. We're gonna hit the road now, get back to Ireland with the PS13. So we went to JDM Garage. We saw a load of cars. We came to Garage D and saw a load of cars. And I can't believe that on 2 farms in the middle of the UK, there's probably more than there is in Japan at this stage of stuff. But thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Time to head for home.